Lights, camera, action.
So because I imagine there's lots of young girls out there and older girls and boys that look at this and think, oh my God, those buildings are amazing. The people look really cool because you make us look cool. But they're a bit nervous. What was it you'd say to them about coming to join us?
I'd say it can seem quite daunting, especially when you're going from a smaller salon. Like my salon wasn't small, it was still quite a big one, but compared to this, and like everyone's been here for so long, like there's so many people that have been here for like 15, 20 years, you do want to make a good impression and you don't want to mess up from the beginning. But I think it's kind of just relaxing into it and just realising that everyone's here for you and just kind of go with it, and then you naturally will just kind of find your feet.
Yeah, find your flow.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was really excited. I was more excited than nervous, but it is a little bit nerve-wracking when you first start because it is just such a change. No, I'd say the kind of freedom you get and the support for one, freedom, and your pressure's taken off you, and you can kind of just like enjoy hairdressing, and you don't have that kind of manic day where you literally just don't want to do it anymore. So I know so many people that have just been put off it because they've been put in too quickly onto the floor, and then they do something wrong, confidence is completely knocked out, and then they just stop doing it altogether.
And how important do you think like the team is around you here? Like,
it's massive. It's the most important thing.
What is?
The team, 100%. Because that's why I wasn't happy before, because I didn't have that sense of team. It was quite competitive. People were they'd say, oh yeah, no, like you're doing really well, but you knew that there was a bit of a kind of competitiveness to it. Whereas here, everyone literally just wants everyone to do well, and everyone cares for everyone. And it's not forced, and you just know that you can literally go to anyone if you've got a problem, which is just such a nice change, and it makes such a difference. It makes the environment positive, and if you work in a positive environment, you're going to have a positive day, and people can then feed off you having a positive day. Yeah. And
what about working in time rather than price lists? How does that affect you as a stylist? Like
I'm getting my head around it. I do like it. So before, when it's like a price list and you've got like a half head of highlights, you do like your standard half head. And I had a model yesterday with Simon, and he was like, you need to make sure that you're tailoring it to each person, because you're not just doing a half head for the sake of it, you're doing it because you've got the time to really tailor it to that person. So I'm practicing now of kind of knowing like the sectionings, tweaking them for each individual person, what will suit them and their end result, which you wouldn't normally get if it was just a price list, but because you've got the time, it is tailored for that individual. So I am getting there, and I do really enjoy it, and you can be more creative and tailored.
Yeah, that's what I was really excited about when I met you, that I knew that you would be able, your creativity in you would be able to come out eventually when you build the confidence, because you'd be able to look at someone and say, that's what I need to do, not half a set of highlights, shades EQ and a hairspray at the end. You'd look at them like an individual.
Yeah.
So the individuality really is quite a huge thing for you, I think, to help people feel good about themselves.
Yeah. I think it's just letting people know that like it comes from a caring perspective. I think quite a lot of salons think they don't really get it, but it's because it's not about money. It's not about just kind of like getting people in, getting people out. It's because we care about the individual and what's best for them. That's why I love that fact that they don't just have products just to push retail. That's one of the things I love about here. When we were speaking when I first came, and you were like, yeah, no, we don't push for retail, it's not important, it's about if they need it, then we'll say to them. Whereas I'm used to literally having commission from retail, in the sense that if you don't reach a certain amount, you don't get told off, but someone will kind of pull you up on it, being like, why aren't you selling enough retail? So people end up just kind of selling it for the sake of it. Whereas when you care about the individual and you only sell it to them if they need it, they get that as well, and you don't have that sort of awkwardness I think they just want me to buy this because I need to. It's because they care for my hair, they think this is best for me, I'm going to give it a go and I'm going to try it and then feed back to them. It's just caring, I think.
We'll then invest in that person, and we will tailor that training plan within our chapel values and we always make sure that certain things are covered, but we really then identify what that individual is looking for or is missing within what their training was, and it's now for us to give them that and for them to feel secure and loyal and safe, and not just to be thrown out on the floor, to be almost educated and grow as they work. And it's so different here. You know, we're not just going to get them to a certain level and throw them out on the floor. We are going to nurture that and listen to them as a person and grow individually where they need to grow. And that for me is why it feels like now is the right time. We have to step up in the industry, and we have to support these people that come through, because if we don't, it will be an industry that won't have that growth. And we are lucky here that we can offer that. It's important to me to give back what I feel they're missing and what they need. I want to make them see and feel their true potential as a hairdresser and give them the opportunity to have that. And it's all about them really working within what we do. And I think what we do is we find out how they learn. We find out if there's someone that learns through theory, through videos, through face-to-face, through personal, and we literally listen to them, and then we can adapt the training to them. You know, the trainers that we have here, the team are amazing, and they really understand. I think it's because we spend time with the stylists, we spend time with the young ones, and we give them time. And I think when you give someone time and you listen to them, it makes such a difference. You're not telling.
Well, the difference is that I'm a lot happier. I'm a lot outgoing, and I feel a lot more comfortable speaking with people and asking more questions, and also kind of getting involved in my guest. Before I kind of felt like I had a bit of a cloud over my head and like a little puppet in a way, but like do this sort of thing. And yeah, I feel a lot better and a lot happier, a lot more comfortable with people. And I feel stressed. I'm a lot less stressed, and I'm a lot calmer, and I can think about my future a lot more as well. It felt like a big leap of faith. I kind of like felt like I went into this whole new bright world. So the people, everyone's supporting me in every single way. So I have slight learning difficulties myself, so I learn better when someone's showing me rather than being told. And with my induction, people adapted that way, so they showed me rather than telling me what to do. And that was a big support for me, because I learned a whole lot better.
You haven't got learning difficulties, you just learn differently than anybody else.
Yeah, and I quite like that, because I'm a different individual sort of thing. I feel quite different, but in a good way to people. I learn differently, and there's some words I struggle to say, but I know that my guests feel comfortable to correct me if I say something wrong, and they know, and it's just a whole good experience. So I never feel looked down or frowned upon for something.
So we are going to give them a structured training plan that's individual to them. Obviously there's certain key aspects that we need to go through, and as they work through the programme, when we feel they're ready to start doing things on the floor with our guests, they start to do that, so they can build relationships with the guests and they can build experience and confidence for themselves. Plus, alongside that, they're hosting for us as well, so they're actually around the salon, seeing the environment, watching and learning, which is a completely different, I suppose, aspect to what a junior would normally be.
So actually building up
they're building,
guest space.
and they're getting confidence, and I think that's the difference, and that's the key. And our goal is really within 9 months to a year for them to be feeling fully fledged and ready to go. But also when they're ready, not holding them back, giving them that little bit of confidence to go and do that on the floor. And then we always assess them as we go along, and when it's the right time, it's the right time. So that's the goal, is to bring on these amazing stylists that feel their potential.